Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed dignitaries, and the respected leaders of the corporate world, good afternoon to all of you. I am Suvidha, a third-year BTech student, and it gives me immense pleasure to extend a warm welcome on behalf of Corporate Resource Center, Amity School of Technology and Engineering. Dear industry leaders, it's an honor to have you all in here, and I'm sure that your presence will make a significant difference to this occasion. Amity University, as a leading world-class institution, is committed to provide its students with a robust industry-academia linkage and a platform for empirical inquiry. Our distinguished panelists, whom we warmly welcome today, play a crucial role in guiding our students through the challenges and the demands of the ever-evolving industry. This interactive platform is designed to facilitate a proactive exchange of knowledge where industry professionals will shed light on how innovation and technology act as catalysts for the development of the Vikasit Bharat. We look forward to an engaging and enriching session where the ideas will converge and the spirit of innovation will be kindled. Once again, thank you for gracing this occasion with your presence. Let's embark on this journey of exploration and learning together. Presenting the Tulsi saplings to industry guests is a gesture that goes beyond a simple gift. It carries cultural, spiritual, and environmental significance, symbolizing the best wishes, the positivity, and the connection to the traditional values. Now may I take this pleasure to request Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar Pandey sir, Director of Amity School of Engineering and Technology, Amity University, Noida, and Professor Dr. Madhuri Kumari ma'am, Deputy Director, Amity School of Engineering and Technology, Amity University, Noida, and Professor Ashwini Dubey, Professor of Department of ECE, to present the Tulsi sapling to our esteemed panelists. I request our guests to step forward for the Tulsi sapling. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to hand over the platform to our session moderator, Professor Dr. Madhuri Kumari ma'am. She is an established academician with over 1 decade of teaching experience. She has worked in software industry for around 11 years before coming to academics. She has worked extensively in areas like industry interaction for placement and engagement of engineering students, software development, capacity building, lecture delivery in civil engineering domain, etc. She has attended several conferences, published technical papers, and delivered talks in the field of civil engineering. She has received doctorate from Terry University, MTech in civil engineering from IIT, Banaras Hindu University, and BTech in civil engineering from Andhra Pradesh, and a gold medalist there. She has traveled across the globe during her association with the industry. So I request you to, ma'am, kindly embrace.
Thank you so much. Esteemed guests, Director, Amity School of Engineering and Technology, Head of the Departments, faculty colleagues, and my dear students. A very energetic afternoon to all of you. On behalf of our respected founder president, sir, esteemed chancellor, sir, honorable vice chancellor, ma'am, and on behalf of our very own director, sir, I extend a warm welcome to the industry leaders, Mr. Golok Kumar Simli, Principal Advisor and Chief Technology Officer, Ministry of External Affairs, India, and Ms. Lata Singh, Strategic Partner Leader, IBM Consulting, to this Amrit Kaal Vimarsh Development Dialogue being hosted by our institution, Amity School of Engineering and Technology. This event is an endeavor towards our commitment to fostering intellectual discourse and contributing to the transformative changes that shape the foundation of Viksit Bharat by 2047. The initiative Viksit Bharat at 2047, Voice of Youth, launched by our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, signifies a pivotal moment in India's history. As we navigate through this Amrit Kaal, I should acknowledge that we are very, very fortunate. We are part of this Amrit Kaal. Our Prime Minister Modi emphasizes the importance of aligning the vision and energy of the youth from every university towards the shared goal of a developed and empowered India. The Amrit Kaal is signifying a great India's journey and has prompted every higher education institution like ours to organize engaging dialogue on various themes that have a substantial impact on the lives of the common man. We believe that our experience and involvement in the incredible journey of Viksit Bharat over years will be of great help to our students. And we are very fortunate to have the industry leaders who themselves are part of getting this India into a developed mode. So what better could we have the industry leaders that we have here who are experiencing and working through the courses of technology implementation for making India a developed country and meeting the vision of our Prime Minister, Viksit Bharat by 2047. The topic of the day is where we are going to be discussing on the impact of the technology and innovation on how it is going to be used through the transformational journey of Viksit Bharat. With that, we are going to be having this in the development dialogue. Initially, we will be hearing from the panelists, the thought sharing on the topic, and then it will be followed by the question answer session. To start with, I have the privilege of introducing to you our first panelist of the day, who is our very own director, Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar Pandey, sir. He is the director of Amity School of Engineering and Technology, Noida. Prior to joining this, he has been in several leadership roles, and he was director at SRM University, NCR campus. I would not forget to mention that he carries with him the mix of industry and academia experience. He was part of IBM's journey starting from year 1998 for a short span of 5 years, but with that he carries a lot of industry experience and the initial taste of technology when India was embarking on the technological journey. He has been worked across a lot of academia, and with that, he carries the vision of how higher educational institution can contribute towards Viksit Bharat. He has several papers, research papers, and books in his credit. And with that, may I request the first panelist of the day, Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar Pandey, sir, Director of Amity School of Engineering and Technology, to give his thoughts on the theme of today's event. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Madhuri. Good morning to all. Once again, good morning. It's a very good morning. Good afternoon, rather, now. And once again, on behalf of our Honorable Founder President, sir, Honorable Chancellor, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Madam, and on behalf of the whole Amity family, let us welcome once again to our industry guests, those who have spared their valuable time and they are among us today in a very, very important discussion, important topic. Now, important in the sense is our Honorable Prime Minister of the country has given us some mandate. And it's very, very important for all the youths of this country to listen for that, what it all about, and how to proceed, and what are the do's and don'ts into it, and what are the historical facts, and what is the roadmap to achieve that. In fact, this Viksit Bharat mission that given by our Honorable Prime Minister of the country on 11th of this month. And there are certain events, certain awareness programs that we'll have to start during this period so that every person of the country, every youth of the country can understand the roadmap, can understand the mission, and can take and decide their own way how they can proceed further. Now, when we are talking about discussing this thing in education institutions are the places where we need to build the personalities, to develop the personalities for the nation building. And how it is being important is, if you see the history, in every year, every historical years, the history gives chance to every country to get developed. And it gives a period which is called the golden era of that country. And those who are a bit aware of the history, I'm not going to take any technical things here. Be alert, attentive, let us understand, and let us be convergent. Are you ready? All those who are in this hall? Ready to hear? Because we have the important responsibility. Let us understand that. What we are going to discuss today, this morning, this afternoon, the fruit you are going to take out of it. The people, those who are sitting on the dais, and the faculty members will get retired and will have no use at that time, when India is surely, definitely going to come into the race and into the line of the developed nation. And this has been observed now in many directions. You may be not realizing, but many countries have started realizing that. We as a nation, we may be not understanding this reality, but many nations have started realizing this. Now, what all the efforts that we will put into about this golden era. And this golden era is given, the word is Amrit Kaal. I hope you heard of this word. This person, you kindly ask him, what is the Amrit Kaal? You kindly ask him. Who is that putting down? Yes? Yes, beta. What is Amrit Kaal? Do you know? No. Because of the awareness, because you are not aware at all. Amrit Kaal is the word. Everybody knows it's a Hindi word. The people outside India say it is a golden era. But we have a different word for it. It's called Amrit. What is the significance of the Amrit? What is the significance of the Amrit? What we call, हमारे हिंदी में जो terminology में है, कोई बता सकता मुझे? Amar. In the same tune, whatever you will think, desire, aspire during this Amrit Kaal is going to be Amar. You are going to achieve it. So now desire, now aspire, dream, and then work for it. And that's why the word is given as a Amrit Kaal. And this type of period comes in the history of many countries. Take the example of the Israel. You understand Israel is a country which has been, ruined many times, developed and then established many times? It is because of the people of that nation. This country is at this stage right now. You take example of the China. China is the country which has witnessed longest period of humiliation. I'm not favoring that country. However, there has been witnessed a longest period of the national humiliation, when every country, other country, humiliated that country in different ways. See now what is the development path of that country. Maybe somewhere the youths are awake. And we were the developed country few hundred years before. If you take example of 500 or 600 years before, we were developed nation. We were contributing this 70% of the world economy. I don't know either you are aware of that or not. 70% of GDP is being owned by our country 500 years before. Every nation is looking towards us, towards India. What initiatives the Indians are taking, how their education system is happening. The people from various parts of the country, various parts of the world are proceeding towards India. And there our bad luck started. When people have came to our country in a different shapes for different reasons, where we could not took our pride up to that level. We became relaxed. That generation became relaxed. And the consequences we faced. We faced because we became gulam for a long time. For 200 years, 300 years. People had came from various parts of this world and they ruled on us. Because of us. Because of our intentions. Now you had already know, we have seen now about this mission. We have seen during the period of independence. During the independence, it was a mass movement. And that mass movement was, every citizen of the country was thinking how we should get freedom. Every citizen of the country. चाहे वो रिक्शा चलाने वाला है, चाहे वो मजदूरी करने वाला है, चाहे वो टॉप बॉसेस हैं, whatever they are doing, they are thinking, ये मेरा whatever I am doing, how my country will get freedom. And that movement, maybe there are various type of movement came at that time, that may be Swadeshi, Jalao movement, or many other movements. It took the mass participation. And success can be achieved with the mass movements only. When the youth of the country can understand, can realize this fact that my contribution to the nation is supreme. And never forget that most of the countries, now remember please, most of the countries, the average age is going to be 50 to 60 years. And our average age is going to be 25 to 30 years. The workforce we have for that period is incredible. The whole world is looking towards you now. Now the point is, are we prepared for that? Our young generation is prepared for that? Are you prepared for that? Are you thinking about it? And all these mass movements, this thinking, everything, that starts from some of the universities. If you take example of the freedom movement of the India, started from some of the universities, name is Kashi Hindu Vishwavidyalaya, Lucknow University, Vishwabharati University. There are some universities that code for. The student, they rose, they took the paths around, and they came forward to come into that freedom struggle. again now time has come. Now time has come. Can you as a youth of the country, can start this movement from your university, from the place where you are, so that let us take it forward and can contribute on that. Most important will be now how we can make social building. Social building is in a small thing. Just I'll quote you some of the things. Can we think about the nation first? Can we think about adhering the rules and regulations set by the part of the country? Can we adhere about the small things that has been set for us as a social responsibility? These maybe sound smaller for you. However, the impact will be great. Impact will be big. And then we can proudly say that in coming age, we will be the developed nation. And right now, the ecosystem has set like that only. The environment had been built. Now it's up to you how you are making the use of it, how you are taking it forward. Coming out of your gadgets will be very, very important. Technology has given us many tools, many facilities. However, if you use the technology, it needs a high level of responsible behavior as well. So, can we come out of our gadgets and can go to the society to understand their problems? Can we bring those unprivileged people, unprivileged part of the society to our level? Without developing each and every section of the society, you cannot think about the developed nation. Otherwise, you and your generations are going to pay the dividend in the form of high income taxes, in the form of many other taxes to provide them free education, free shelters, and free things. It will be our fault. If we do not educate those people, those who are still uneducated, if you do not bring these people to the mainstream, those who are still struggling in the society to get their place, if we are not doing that our own, irrespective of the resources we used to have, the capability we have, the potential we have, then your coming generation is going to blame on you. So that these are some of the thoughts that came in my mind regarding the Viksit Bharat, and there are lots of initiatives that Government of India is going to take during all these 10 days. However, 10 days will not be enough. 10 days are to make this movement as a mass movement. 10 days are just to put into the mind of each and every individuals about the relevance and about the importance of this particular thought. And now world is wondering how we are achieving so much in so less time. Government have given lots of initiatives and mandates in past as well. You take the example of the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. You take the example of digital initiatives. Irrespective of so many odds and so many different type of social structures we do have in our country, irrespective of so much diversity in terms of the language, in terms of the creed, in terms of many more, we are achieving these initiatives, making them successful because of our willpower. So that willpower will be required from you now, from the youth of the country, if we want our country to make as a developed nation. And this oath you have to take, this resolution you have to do today itself, and you make it, you just think about it's an examination period. You understand what happened in examination? आपने अभी एग्जाम लिखे हैं पीछे, क्या होता है एग्जामिनेशन में? What happened in examination? आप बोलेंगे हम तो सिर्फ एग्जामिनेशन में ही पढ़ते हैं. No? Exactly. एग्जामिनेशन में सिर्फ आप ही नहीं पढ़ते हैं, आपकी पूरी फैमिली पढ़ती है. Yes or no? Whole family engaged, busy. मदर इज, मम्मी कभी शाम को कॉफ़ी पिला रही, रात को नींद में सो ना जाए कहीं, कॉफ़ी पिलाते रहना मुझे, एक 10 बजे, एक 12 बजे, एक 1 बजे. इट हैपेंड और नॉट? पेरेंट्स आर ऑल्सो, ब्रदर एंड दिस ऑल्सो, मुझे डिस्टर्ब मत करना, आई एम दिस दैट रूम, डोंट प्ले दिस. वाई? बिकॉज यू हैव ओनली वन मिशन दैट टाइम, एग्जाम में बैठना है और पास करना है. And everyone around you helping into that. Same way, India, make India as a developed nation examination started. Let the whole family, because this whole country is a family, let the whole family work for it. Let the whole, every stakeholder involved, engaged in our life should work for it. Then only it will be successful. With this, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for letting the youth know the role of higher education institution, how a movement can be made mass movement, and basically we request the youth to be participating in this movement, as very well said by sir, that the exam of developed nation, being a developed nation has started, and you and we all together as a family need to put in our effort to become Viksit Bharat. We have our next panelist, who is Mr. Golok Kumar Simli, Principal Advisor and Chief Technology Officer, Ministry of External Affairs. I have the proud privilege of introducing our panelists to you. Sri Golok Kumar Simli is an award-winning government technology thought leader whose contribution towards National E-Governance Plan of India during its inception year 2005 and 7 has been remarkable. His efforts towards digital transformation within public sectors and government department has been immense. He is the architect of Passport Seva program, delivering passport services to more than 90,000 citizens daily. The Passport Seva digital ecosystem comprises of state-of-art technology backbone and connects to 37 passport offices, 93 Passport Seva kendras, and more than 430 post office Passport Seva kendras across the country, and 190 Indian embassies and consulates abroad serving a diaspora across the globe. He has been guiding and contributing to use emerging technology in the government sector. He has also architected and implemented cybersecurity and data and information security framework for the enterprise and government sectors. Currently, as Principal Advisor and Chief Technology Officer, he is leading 2 flagship projects of Ministry of External Affairs, that is Passport Seva Program version 2.0 and e-Passport. He commands a wide range of experience exceeding 30 years in ICT, starting with private sector, public sector undertaking, Reserve Bank of India, and more than 16 years with central government. He has received 21 individual accolades to his credit from different sectors, and to name a few would be World CIO Award, Data Quest Digital Warrior Award, Honorary Award for World Summit CIO Excellent Award is the recent one, 2023, from Confederation of Indian Industry, and many more. He is a computer science graduate from a premier institute and has completed his master's degree in data science as well. So with that small introduction of the eminent person like Mr. Golok Simli, we are eager to hear from you, sir. Over to you for thought sharing on the theme.
Namaskar, very good morning, rather good afternoon to all of you. Let me at the outset thanks Professor Dr. Manoj, Director, Professor Madhuri, on the dais, Dr. Dubey, and my colleague Ms. Lata, having me here. I think I feel really young today among all of you. Some time back, if we recall back almost 3 decades before, I think one of you will be sitting there listening to the dais. But just imagine the journey, how it unfolds. And I want to see all of you, right? Saying that, how can you visualize yourself? How can you become part of such journeys, such transformations? It's really beautiful. If you ask me, I have grown up from a village, probably there was no school, right? There was no electricity. But then I think that is the time you think yourself, that is the time we all think ourselves, saying that how do we give back to the society? What can I do as an individual? Forget about society at large. That will anyway come, right? And I would like to make it more and more interactive so that it doesn't look like, saying that I am speaking and you are listening. Let's make more and more interactive. We'd like to share experience, whatever we have learned through, whatever we have experienced through, right? And as I said, someday or other, you might be sitting on these chairs. You might be heading some company as a CEO, company as a CIO, and that should be your goal, right? Today, I think we are talking about Amrit Kaal, Viksit Bharat, Samridh Bharat. How is that even we are mincing those words? Because you are part of it. I am part of it. Every one of us, we are part of this journey, right? Now, let me ask a simple question saying that when you talk about Samridh Bharat, Vikasit Bharat, my straightaway questions goes to all of you saying that what does it mean to all of you when you say that we are part of a democracy? Can someone from any of the rows tell me what is democracy means to all of you? Any open thought, nothing to worry, nothing to no kind of a think awkward. Tell me whatever it comes to your mind. What is democracy to all of you? Yes, yes. Last row. What is democracy? Or middle row or this row? Yes, yes. I think someone. Yeah, please. Yeah, what's your good name? Very good. Yeah, Sanskar. Tell me, what is democracy?
According to me, at this time, democracy generally is about free media.
Mm-hmm.
So my major point is free media.
Okay, I take it. Absolutely. One off. Yes, absolutely. Sit down. Thank you. Now I add one more word. But democracy is much more. Other than the media, it's about you and me. Am I feeling freedom wherever I am? You are sitting here, right? Is your mind free from all the obstacle you might be thinking? That's democracy to you, right? And then if you come out from there, again you move little forward, maybe you're moving towards spreading that democracy around you. Let's say you are sitting within 10 of students. Is that those students are like-minded to you? Is that they are disturbing you in some other, or they are part of your journey? Or are you bringing any change or value add to those students sitting around you? That's what is a societal democracy, right? Now let me add one more word into democracy. Something we call now, since you all are having a mobile phone, right? Which is the student who is not carrying a mobile phone here? I don't think, right? Every one of you have. Now, if you ask you, what is digital democracy? Now I have added one more word, right? What is digital democracy? And believe me, this Vikasit Bharat, Samridh Bharat, no collaborative Bharat, whatever we are talking in a technology means. We are talking in a digital means. Now, if you ask you what is digital democracy, then what? Again, any of the row, what is digital democracy? Where? Yes, please. Go ahead. What's your name, please? Yes, Anand. Yes, that is one. Yes, Anand, that is one. I am looking something more on digital democracy, this side. Digital democracy is all about, it's not about having a mobile phone in your hand. It's about how do you make equal access to all through digital means. Now let me little take it forward. When I said equal access to all through digital means, assume that you are accessing a service, no? Whatever service, you buy clothes or foods or eatables or whatever you do, or you look for your books or your information, data regarding your courses on the internet, right? You do that. But assume that a same student residing at a part or a remote corner of a village, right? He want to have you the same facility what you are having, right? Is that possible? Why not? Because the digital democracy is not reached up to that level. So what then government is doing? What we are doing then? And what we want you to be part of that ecosystem, right? What our effort is, can I bring in digital democracy, digital literacy to the grassroots level, to the last mile, to the remote person of UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, wherever you are from? Think of that state. Can you bring in that change, right? And when I say can you bring in that change, I mean without differentiating between literacy, demography, geography, economic conditions, rural and urban divide. Can you reach that? That's the most important job of a technology. Wherever tomorrow you'll be passing out, you'll be joining some industries, as I said, you'll become CEO, CTO, whatever. Or let's say you come to the government side, again you become some director, JS, whatever. Right? Either of you will do something. The other purpose is we all are here for a purpose, right? If you are reading, you are with Amrit, you are for a purpose, right? Can someone tell me what is the purpose you are here? What is the purpose you are here? The first and prime purpose you are here with the Amrit kind of a school or engineering college. What is your major role, major purpose, major aim of life? And as I feel, every one of us, we are very opportunistic, if you ask me. Every one of us, including me, I am not leaving myself, right? Because the purpose, the cause which you are here for, or whatever I am doing, is the cause for wealth maximization, right? Looking for a life which is much larger than what you are doing, right? Every one of us, we do that. Now, if you are looking for such scenarios, what government is doing, Government is trying to build an ecosystem for all of you. And that is why probably you are here today, saying that can you become part of that change? Can you bring in at least whatever capacity? As I said, you tomorrow become a media person, tomorrow you become a, let's say, a super marketing specialist, or a technology evangelist, whatever. But when we do that, I think ultimately what for? One for your own wealth maximization, one for your own well-being, right? And then once you come out of that, ultimately you have to give back. Give back for your own, let's say, family, friends, society, masses at large, citizen at large. And that is why the measures being initiated by the government, no, so that every one of us get benefited. It's not you and me alone. No. I'm not looking for a sector, a kind of a vertical. The biggest problem with all of us, as I said, you are again part of this country, you are a citizen of this country, all of us. We are trying to create those measures where we create something I call a digital democratization process, something I call the empowerment, something I call inclusivity, right? And if you have to do that, I think some of the major initiatives which government has initiated are these, the measures initiated if you see. And the aim is like Director Manoj sir said, saying that the aim is how do we become a Viksit Bharat, right? And to achieve that, I think our first target is to achieve $1 trillion of digital economy by 26-27, right? And overall economy by, let's say, 2030. That's the purpose. But how do you do that? Let me go to the another slide, and this is my last slide. I will not take so much of a slides. Now, if you see this particular slide, what I am trying to bring in here, saying that whatever I do, today you are, let's say, graduating from MET or you are doing your, let's say, writing your exam, or let's say you are preparing for your course. But what do you need from MET, by the way? The kind of resources you are looking for, the kind of infrastructure you are looking for, the kind of ease of delivery you are looking for, right? The kind of, let's say, quality of lectures you are looking for, all of these you are looking, right? Or if I am in government, let's say how many of you have got passport in hand? Maximum, right? So when you are applying for a, let's say, passport services, my job is to ensure that you get the passport without any hassles, right? The day you apply online, then you go to the Passport Seva Kendra, I send for a police report, and then passport is printed and dispatched to you. So every one of us, if I am bringing some transformation, if you are doing your educations, sirs and madam, they are providing educations to you, some way or other, we are here for some purpose, right? And those purposes are being addressed, whatever you do. Can you think on these rows in the middle? All the rows, no? If you want to top in the class, or let's say you stand out in the class, I think your processes, the way you read, the way you gather information, the way you collaborate with other students, the way you take the lead in the class, that stands out. The processes need to change. The way you need to work need to change, right? And that's why even within the government, if I want to give a service delivery experience to all of you, why only passport? Whether it is passport, whether it is income tax filing, whether it is applying for an Aadhaar card or a driving license, right? But how do we bring such changes? Unless you bring in the changes in the processes, which are actually becoming bottleneck for all of us, including your personal life, right? And once you come out from the processes, the second is, how do you safeguard those resources, what you have, the knowledge you have, the data you have, right? That is the second biggest challenge all of us today. You are full-time either on the Google or on the mobile. These are the two most powerful devices for you today, including me maybe. But do you really realize that whatever you are surfing on the Google or you are accessing some information, on the process, you might be also sharing your own knowledge, not only the knowledge, but also the data, your own personal data. Right? So the next time when you click on a surf, you must think that, am I losing some of my personal essence while surfing on the Google or on the mobile? And that's how your thinking process will elevate. That's how you will resonate much more with the technology. You start thinking, you are clicking on a web page or in a Google search or let's say on a video or whatever you are doing. Start thinking that, where is the technology taking me forward? Is it taking me forward for a purpose or is just for the sake of it is doing? If you are doing for the sake of without knowing the purpose, the implications, then you are falling into that safeguarding your digital assets and other kind of problems. Then the third area is when you are looking for, as I said, such kind of a Vikasit Bharat or Samrid Bharat or developed nation, it's all about anytime, anywhere. Nobody wants to kind of have a feeling like saying that you might be willing to experience everything possible on your mobile, right? And it's anytime, anywhere, 24/7 basis. But imagine, I have to deliver such services to 1.4 billion people. Just imagine. Put yourself into the other basket. The first basket is yours, because you are that much resource kind of you already available with you. But think of 1.4 billion of people having such kind of a requirement to be delivered by the government or from somewhere we are contributing, directly or indirectly. Think of how will you make it possible for 1.4 billion of people, right? And when you are making such services available to 1.4 billion of people, as I said, we must ensure that I must not differentiate between a demography, geography, literacy condition, rural and urban divide, economic conditions. So many words I have told. But just imagine technology way. How do you bridge those gaps? Right? And at the end, when you are looking all of these, as I said, one side we are progressing, let's say leap and bound to achieve something, to become a Vikasit Bharat by 2047, to become a developed nation by 2047. But at the same time, we also have to ensure, I think, all universities, all colleges, government as a policy maker, we are also much worried about all these digital footprints what we are creating. Am I disturbing the ecological footprint, right? Am I disturbing the carbon footprint, right? Today we are not able to breathe fresh air, whether in Delhi or Noida. Why is that? Somewhere we are disturbing the ecological footprint. Somewhere we are disturbing the carbon footprint. And it is equally responsible for all of us, including me, saying that, as I said, our main motto is wealth maximization. Our main purpose is the benefit to me, benefit to my family is well, luxury to me. But have you ever thought that the luxury which I am otherwise experiencing, is that luxury is carrying some negatives for others? That is maybe luxury for you. But what about the negativity I am creating for others? And that poor chap might not be even aware of. Think of those masses, they have not contributed to anything to do with that luxury. But ultimately they are suffering. All of us are suffering. So going forward, there will be two-directional approach, right, to the development goal of the nation. One is, as I said, whatever we do, whatever we think for ourselves or for the country or for the society at large, that will continue to happen. We'll continue to compete. Maybe we'll stand someday by number one globally. But at the same time, it is high time that you, all of us, you are the youth. You know how many percentage of youth in India? Can someone tell me what is the percentage of youth population in India? 66%, right? Imagine 66% of youth below 35 years. We can do wonder, right? That's our wealth. That's the wealth of the nation. This youth population can do wonder for all of us. I think Professor Manoj told, saying that it's your days, it's your journey. You have to unfold your journey the way you want. And technology, digital, these are means of yours, right? These can deliver provided the way you want to leverage this technology, leverage this digital, right? So at the end, I must say that, no, when we are thinking for Vikasit Bharat, a Bharat for all of us, this Vikasit Bharat is for whom? For all of us, right? For the society at large. You and me, it's none of others' business, right? It's you and me. And if you do not connect, if you do not communicate, if you are not part of that delivery system, no? The connect, communicate, and deliver. I think the purpose remains half-truth. So if we have to fulfill that truth, if we have to fulfill that missions or visions, whatever I say, it's high time that we start thinking at the grassroots level. And our grassroots is all of you, the youth of the nation. What we are leaving for the youth of the nation, what youth of the nation are connecting with the goal of the nation or development goal of the nation or society at large, I think that is the crux. That's how it should be. So I thank you once again. I think it's a very vibrant audience to speak to all of you. I can take 1 2 questions if you are, no, or I once again thanks all of you for having me here. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. A very insightful thought on what is the role of youth for participating into this journey of Viksit Bharat. Very rightly said by sir about the technology as an enabler or to erase the divide. We talk about demographic divide or we talk about we talk about the digital divide, we did talk about the demography divide or economic divide or any rural divide. What is very important to note out of the thought sharing by Mr. Golak Simli is the two-pronged approach, two-directional approach. It is not just that we do the transformation using the digital technology as the tool, but we also need to be conscious about what digital footprint are we leaving about. So that's an important message for us, my dear students. let's get into the journey and contribute our best. With this, we'll move on to our next panelist of the day, Ms. Lata Singh, who is a business leader having close to 3 decades of industry experience. She has an extensive experience in consultative sales and ecosystem management. Ms. Lata, in her various roles over some time, has developed skill sets that are key to collaboration and driving large and diverse teams. She has built strong relationship with clients to drive their adoption of technology through consultative engagement. Her focus has been to drive new go-to-market models and engage a diverse set of ecosystem players across technology. She is invested in mentoring and coaching the team to drive success for the organization and themselves. Ms. Lata is an active D&I champion and works internally at IBM and externally to mentor women on their career roadmap. She is a speaker at multiple forums and also an active member of CII Indian Women Network. She has been featured in the Global 2021 Women of the Channel list by CRN. So we are very fortunate to have you as a panelist, ma'am. Over to you for thought sharing on the theme. Lata ma'am has requested to play a video which is very relevant to this thought before we move forward to hearing to her. A video from YouTube which is available to all of you. You should look at it, the entire part of it. We'll just play a short part of it before she starts off. YouTube.
Hi, I think it's good afternoon, all of you. I thought since this is a generation that looks at media more than it looks at written documents, we will start with a video and look at why we're looking at 2047. And while the team puts up the video, I'm also trying to connect to my WebEx. All of you are lucky it's not connecting because there are 50 slides I have to present. Yeah, I can see all of you thinking lunch is gone. But let's look at what is 2047, right? And why are we talking about Viksit Bharat? It's a vision that covers developmental aspects like social progress, environmental sustainability, economic prosperity, and good governance, right? Why are we talking to you? Why is the Viksit Bharat, and thank you, Dr. Pandey, for inviting me, because when I actually did my homework for this session, I realized the amount of work that's going on in colleges and universities is the highest. And so I wanted to share with you is why 2047? Any of you, have you thought of it? Why 2047? Absolutely, right? Now let's look at why are we talking about it to you, right? How old will most of you be at 2047? You will be in the peak of your careers. So that really defines, right? I'm not going to be there at the peak of my career there, right? We have, I think, really reached our peak and we are now on the last phase of our career. But for each one of you, remember why 2047 and where will you be when it is 2047? How old will you be when you're 2047? Because that will describe why you need to be so active now. Why you need to take an interest in this right now. Because if you don't take an interest in it now, you will be left out, right? Golekji talked about we're looking at our own economic growth. Right? The way that you align with Viksit Bharat, the way that you refine with that you define yourself with 2047 vision will also define you in terms of where will you be. And I think that is important for you to think about, right? While the video is playing, did you get,
Should
okay.
we play the YouTube video?
You can play the video while I do my presentation sharing as well so that they can see the 50 slider that I have. But I think it's important to look at the whole aspect of this video.
The world around me works. My parents instill in me the importance of questioning everything. My father used to always ask me about things that he would observe in daily life. Can you figure out how this works and explain it to me? And I think like that inquisitive nature might be why I chose science. It was a way of satisfy that curiosity to discover.
Just listen carefully to this
We
one.
find
and then
ourselves in a moment of enormous potential in our technology, but also extraordinary challenges that it would be hard to overstate how deep and profound they are.
On one hand, if we just think about the challenges that the world is facing in sustainable development goals like water, poverty, food, healthcare, and climate.
Climate change is also my upbringing. I came from a developing nation where I have seen the impacts of climate change.
And we are all witnessing the impact of a global pandemic and the realization that, it will probably not be the last one.
We didn't have the luxury of decades to solve that. We needed to find a solution fast.
In healthcare, it takes 17 years on average between the time when scientifically we know that something can work to the time when it's available for use.
And we are just building knowledge so quickly, it's become very difficult, almost impossible for even scientists to keep up.
If we can compress the time to discovery, we can find solutions to some of the most pressing challenges that we're facing today.
Those are daunting, massive challenges, and without accelerating the rate at which we discover solutions, there is no path to be able to address these fundamental challenges.
We really don't have much time to waste.
IBM Research is a community of scientists, engineers, and designers of all sorts of disciplines. We have mathematicians and physicists and chemists and experts in AI and quantum. And we come together to create and imagine new ways to process information and generate the next advances in computing. IBM Research has played through our history and continues to play a central role of creating new solutions and imagining new ways to bring computing to solve some of our hardest problems. And if we weren't here, I think we would lose a massive vector of progress for the world. I'm Dario Gill. I'm Senior Vice President at IBM, and I'm responsible for all of the research activities of IBM worldwide.
I'm Zaira Nazario. I joined IBM Research because I wanted to make quantum computing a reality. We need to pull together the power of all these new technologies that are emerging.
And the moment we find ourselves is the convergence of not just one technology, but three technologies that are going to alter how we practice science and how we develop technology. I like to summarize them as bits plus neurons plus qubits. The world of bits is a digital world, the computers that we all know. Now enter the world of artificial intelligence. That's the world of neural networks that have inspiration from the biological brains, and they allow us to solve problems differently, to learn from data. And then enter the third element of the equation, the blend of physics and information, the world of qubits.
Which is the promise of quantum computing.
All combined together.
With that purpose and focus to discover faster.
Our objective is to accelerate the rate of discovery by a factor of 10x. So we want something that would have taken 10 years to do in 1 year, or something that cost 100 million to do it in 10 million. I think what the world hasn't grasped yet are the implications of the convergence of these technologies in the context of acceleration.
I don't know how many of you really listen, but most of you listen. I could see the connection. I think. Can you hear me? Yeah. The key thing about this, if you look at it, it's called talking about cloud, quantum, and AI, right? It is talking about convergence of technology. The other important thing is that they talked about is accelerating discovery. And I think, look at the way that it took us, for all of us, because we were in the COVID phase, how fast did we get our vaccine, right? It is called accelerated discovery. Now, science is a creative process. If you can say, they talked about imagine, create, right? And that's what we want in our youth. We want you to think, we want you to imagine, we want you to create, and we want you to really create solutions that help you address problems, right? It's about what Golakji said, going to the grassroots. It's what Dr. Pandey said is go out and understand what's going on, right? And then look at how do you really get those flashes of, you have your design space, discovery space, and how do you get flashes of insight into what needs to be done? And that is what we need from our youth, right? Now, the important aspect for all of you to look at it is, I don't know, and I will connect, by the way, at this right at the end as well. The video you remember, I will ask questions or I'll connect at the end, is we talked about a few things, right? I don't know how many of you looked at the newspaper today, right? And we are talking about 2047 Viksit Bharat. Did you see that we are the largest manufacturers of steel in the world? It was in the paper today, right? Coal by 2026 will be the largest producers, right? We looked at ONDC, right? That's the aggregator commerce platform that the government has launched. Bhasani, right? Bhasani was, Prime Minister Modi has launched that. One of the things that we always talk about is languages and languages from states and how we cannot communicate. But the way that Bhasani does it is for you to be able to communicate faster, right? You do a video, and I was watching, I think one of the Instagram guys was talking about him just talking in one language and it getting translated into so many other languages, and therefore he could reach a larger audience. That's technology increasing the pace. And I think that's what is very key for all of you to look at. How are you looking at using technology? How are you looking at, by 2047, where you need to be, and therefore the technologies that you want to invest in your career path. I took this, I don't know whether is it available?
Yeah, it is in person. We are there.
I will, okay, maybe I need to let you in.
Yes.
Can you log in again, and then I will cover that. Sometimes it's very slow. Okay, I got it. So now officially the Amity team is in my WebEx, so you guys can see. Okay. Look at, if you are able to see, can you see? Guys say yes, no. I can't see the back of my head actually, so that's the reason. I have shared it, so it shows as sharing. Can you see? Okay, technology definitely needs a hand, but the first slide that I had, and whenever it comes up, I'm surprised it's not. I have, ma'am. See, look at, ये कर लिया दो बारी, हाँ. ये नहीं हो रहा है. Anyway, let me go ahead with my talk so that none of you are bored per se. Can you see? While it comes up. So all of you heard of it. How many of you really participated or looked at the Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence Summit? None of you? See, one of the things that's in your hands, by the way, is the fact that you can watch so many sessions on YouTube, right? Not that just this that is being live, cast live, but the fact that you can look at what are the changes that are happening. When Golakji talked about Passport Seva, it's taken us, 2 decades to get to where we are. That means the technology is being adopted in such a manner that it is going to go faster and faster. So what you learn today will be totally irrelevant in the next few years. I just wanted to highlight. So what are the trends that are driving? I wanted to share with you, and then I will quickly run through because you can't see any of the slides. But a few of the trends that are coming. It's coming. Okay, great. So let me go back because I had one slide that I did want to showed you. Can you see that? It's going to go very slow, right? But there was a competition for schools to, schools kids to say what do they want, right? And what do they see in 2047? And I just took one of the paintings from online, and it talked about electric cars, whenever you see it. It talks about payment, all of you are using your UPI. It talks about energy, which is solar energy, windmills, so you can look at sustainable energy. It is talking about being the second largest economy. It is talking about man-machine hybrid, and it is talking about an increased population, which is so true. Why are we saying that this is the right time for India to achieve, right, the golden stage? It is because we have the largest youth population in the world, right? And that is where we are. So what are the trends that are driving? You're looking at AI. How many of you look at ChatGPT or work on ChatGPT? Oh, that's very less. That's very less. Let me tell you, is if you're not, and I don't know if the trend, it's going very slow, but one of the trends is people who use AI will replace people who won't or don't. So if you're not really even dirting your hands on something called a generative AI, I can tell you, you will be at a disadvantage. Okay? You will be at a disadvantage because the government is using AI. The government has recently hosted the Gen AI partnership here, right? We are using it in all our initiatives in government and state level. You may not even realize it, that how much of data analytics and AI is in all the engagements that the government is doing as they roll out their programs. So seeing the number of hands up, I would say it's definitely something that you need to take back with you. Is the trends, and this is not just government, by the way, even enterprises, and enterprises more, will move from plus AI to AI plus. What does that mean? And this is from the IBM industry value report, right? Business value report. Why AI plus? That means we're no longer saying, let's get AI now, we have thought, and it's an afterthought. It means that organizations will be deploying AI first. So you will be deploying solutions with an AI first, rather than saying, let me have a small COE which has AI and then I will work on a solution. Trend 2, people who use AI will replace people who don't, right? 3, AI is no longer, the data conversation is no longer with the tech people, it is with the business people. Right? Whether it is retail, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is oil and gas, every industry, including the public sector industry, the AI discussion is with the board and the CEO level. It is no longer only with the IT team. Number 4, operating models bend so that they don't break. What does that mean? That means you need to be flexible. I would say it's not only processes and organizations, but you as individuals also need to be flexible. There are going to be changes, right? So flexibility starts with self, and then it goes to what type of processes are you designing, and then it goes on to can you model and change your processes as the industry changes, as the shocks come into the industry, and how do you move forward, right? And finally, ecosystems are not part of the strategy for any organization, enterprise or public sector. They are the strategy. So if you're not engaging, if you're not collaborating, right, as individuals, I can tell you that is really going to hamper the growth. Because one of the things that we're looking at is aggregators. With partnerships between the tech companies, with partnerships, you've seen the food aggregators, yes? Swiggy, guys? Aggregators is the way to go, and that means you need partnerships with multiple stakeholders to be able to deliver to what is needed for growth. And ecosystem is one of the key mandates in the strategy that we have for 2047. Okay, I'm not going to talk through the next slides because all of you know what are the changes that will happen? Climate, we have all seen it. Urbanization is increasing. We are looking at the fact that there is a gap between the citizens. We're also looking at economic fragility. Have you guys thought about it? Yes? No? Right? We are looking at new intelligent technologies coming in, and we are looking at complex geopolitical threats that are happening. You saw the crude oil, you saw the way that we had to look at Ukraine versus Russia, right? And therefore, look at how much it takes for a government to really look at where do they want to put it. So when you looked at the video, they said you need to look at the scientific process, not just for technology, but also for policy making, right? You need to look at the AI into it. You need to look at the data points onto it. And I think that's an area that all of you need to look at it. Now, if you really look at long term, where are we going to be? We're going to look at demand for services. Each of you, by the way, do not have patience. Us as citizens, we no longer have patience. We want services when we want them. Yes or no? Right? All of you want food delivered within a certain time that you place order on. You want your Aadhaar card made within a certain time. So the reason that we need to look at citizen-centric services that the government is doing is the amount of technology that they're adopting to be able to meet the demands that we have got used to. Right? It is that. Look at the future of the workforce, and I'm going to talk about that. It's going very slow, so bear with me, and a few of you who are thinking can look at the slides as I've already crossed them. Right? I'm going to quickly go to the last ones so that you think, okay, which are the technologies that are driving change? Are you familiar with all of these? As they come up? AI and analytics I talked about. Mobile, Golakji talked about the fact that it is always available, but the key thing is how are you going to use it? Cloud, and Dr. Dario Gil talked about cloud. What did he say was the second convergent technology? Come on, guys, girls, cloud. He talked about cloud, AI, thank you guys, cloud, AI, and quantum, and that's where bits and qubits comes in, right? He talked about convergence of those technologies. And then obviously there are a number of other technologies. Now, when you go out in the job market, you may go out saying, am I an SAP person? Am I an AWS person? Do I have capability on certain technologies? Am I looking at microservices build? But all of that, as you go, you have to look at where is the Gen AI piece coming in each of the things that you're driving. The 5G explosion is already happening. So the IoT piece is already there, right? 5x the number of devices that we will have available to us. Blockchain is being used for multiple things. I don't know how many of you are aware, blockchain is being used to ensure that the degrees that are issued out, and that's some of the checking that a lot of corporates do, is the degree that you've given, is that the original degree, or is there something that's happening where you've not got it? All of you are aware of it. That's a basic use of blockchain, right? You're looking at blockchain also to look at, one of the projects that IBM is the coffee beans that are being plucked. Where are they from? How are they being used? Is it a certain age group of labor that is using? Because you also want to ensure that you're looking at not just the quality of the coffee bean, but you're looking at the labor that is picking those coffee bean, and are you crossing any guidelines that you need? I think you have to start looking at things from a not technology side, but what's happening around you to say, how is technology delivering that to us? What more can we do? Right? It's very slow, right? I'm going to leave that, but I will get to this one, right? As it comes up, I'll talk through it. But ultimately, what is the government doing, or what is the Viksit 2047? We are saying we are laying bets, or big bets, right? We are laying big bets on 2047. We want to be sustainable. We want to be an economic power. But we also want to do it with all the citizens with us, right? It's not for a few. It is for all, right? So you're creative. What have we done? We've created a new business blueprint. Each of you is part of that blueprint. Whether you want to take an active part or a passive part is up to you. The key is, if you take an active part in it, 2047 will be for you, right? Or the growth journey, even let's not even say 2047, let's talk about 2030, right? 2035, right? Will be for you. Therefore, take part in all the activities that your college or your university is doing, because it is very, very important for each of you to know where you're in that entire journey which India is driving, right? You are going to look at, when these changes happen, what type of workflows, what is a golden thread that's going to come from technology, and that's going to come through what we already talked about, but it's also going to be about embedding technology, okay? But the most important, it's going to be about humanity and how you're actually getting into human technology relationships, how you're getting into leadership, how you're getting into skill and culture, and you're going to do it with a purpose. You remember Dr. Dario Gill or the research lab said there is a purpose in what we want to do, but most important, you're going to do it with agility, right? We talked about accelerated learning, we talked about accelerated discovery, and therefore the agility, not just of the technology, but of the people is equally critical. And we are doing all of that with sustainability in mind, okay? Now, where is the roadmap for India's global leadership going to go? 2047. First is to initiate, to establish. We've already got a digital framework, right? We have e-governance. Many of you may not have been part of the journey, you were too young. We've already done the initiate to establish. We have our core government-centric services, center and state already rolled out, right? The digital infrastructure is there. The second part is where you're going to help us. It's integrate to grow, right? You have to have the physical and the digital infrastructure aligned. And finally, you're going to multiply to lead, which will take us to 2047, right? It's only with that. Okay? Is the millennial, and I've skipped a slide because I can see people squiggling in their seats and you're not used to sitting for so long. And you're no longer on Zoom, WebEx, where you can just switch off the camera and no one knows what you're doing. But the question is the millennial India future ready? Are you future ready? Okay? How many of you are thinking of being employed versus self-employed? Right? Are you creating jobs? Are you looking at what more can you do? Right? By the way, there is an interesting piece which CII recently came out with a report, and for the women here, there are more qualified female resources available than male resources, with 52.8 highly employable women and 47.2 highly employable men. The question is, are you one of those? But as you look at more women entering the workforce, the important part is, how are we aligning services, and this is Golakji from a government perspective as well as for the corporates, how are we ensuring that there is ease of work for women to enter the workforce? Because that is another important part, right? Can they get away from their household chores that are mentioned to saying that they are an active participant in the workforce? Right? And in a recent session that I was attending about ride-hailing apps, one of the things that we were talking about is how ride-hailing apps have actually increased the women participation in workforce, including, by the way, women in academics, because it allows them to reach places safely, and it is also an ease of use. So look at how everything around you is coming together to give you more convenience, but it is also giving you more opportunity, right? And then there is, all of you can go to McKinsey report. I don't know how many of you read the McKinsey report, but you should, because it has trends on, and I had one that I went through in 2013, and whatever it talked about as technologies in the next decade are actually mainstream now. So my suggestion to you, with your careers at peak in 2047, you may want to look at what is the McKinsey's report for technology. Look at how are you aligning while you enter the workforce in your growth path on these technology areas. But do not forget that there are essential skills. And those essential skills are digital literacy, data literacy, and Golekji talked about it, right? Critical thinking, emotional intelligence. And that is very, very important. Emotional intelligence. What do we look at when we are looking at our workforce? We are looking at collaborative teams. We are looking at teams that are creative, diverse, okay? And I think that is one of the areas that you need to look at while you look at building your tech creativity. I will again say tech creativity, because we don't want you to be only technically capable. We want to use technology to deliver more. And that's why one of the slides I missed is, by the way, we are the largest, we want to be the world's technology and services hub. I don't know how many of you know, we have the largest pool of technology resources sitting in India that are servicing the globe. 2 decades back, maybe we were, serving them with resources or heads, right? But now we are providing solutions, we are providing services, we are known for what we can deliver in terms of technology, consulting, and the prowess that we give to ensure that the complex architectures are delivered. And I think that is a force multiplier. You're looking at a force multiplier that we need to do, and that is digitalize India. We want you to thrive in an entrepreneurship, by the way. So I'm not talking to you only about being self-employed. I'm talking about being self-employed and creating employment for the others. And at the same time, also we have to look at how are we reaping the demographic divide. We have, people in villages. How many of you actually have background in villages? Can you deliver to the rural? Can you come up with cutting-edge technologies? And I think that is what is very important for each one of you. Now, maybe later I will talk about how IBM is delivering on areas that are outside of it. But I think the most important part that I wanted to end with the slide, the video that you saw is, we've talked about AI, quantum, we talked about robotics, we know IoT, we know 5G. What is IBM research working on, right? We talked about. We're talking about modeling Mother Nature to feed a growing citizenry while reducing carbon emissions. Now, what does that mean? There will be a food chain is very important, food supply is very important, but how do you do that? We're rethinking batteries before we have to rethink our world, right? We're talking about sustainable materials, sustainable products, sustainable planet. We're learning from our past for a healthier future. We know about genome, all of us know about how we can use quantum for that, and we're also talking about capturing and transforming CO2 to mitigate climate change, right? All of this is where we are. Now, each one of you needs to be very, very cognizant of what we need to do. And I think that is important, is what do each one of you do? Where is your roadmap to your career? How are you going to, I would say, participate, and participate willingly. Participate not because you've been asked to attend a session, but participate by looking around you, listening to what's happening, and say, how do we ensure we're part of the movement to have a Vikasit Bharat 2047? Because ultimately it will benefit each one of you and your families. Right? So, thank you to each one of you. I am looking forward to seeing many of you in the workforce. Not exactly 50 slides, but managed to cover quite a few, right?
Thank you so much, Ms. Singh. Very rightly started off. Started off with letting you all know that it's more important to think, imagine, create, work on solution to create and become a greater part of society using this technology as a tool. So the message across that goes through all the panelists to you is that technology is definitely going to be the enabler for Viksit Bharat 2047. But it is more than that. How is technology delivering is something that you need to understand, and what more can be done using this technology. Beyond that, so very important point that ma'am touched upon was human technology relationship. That is where you need to put in your next thought on. As the technology is taking over, it is very important to be very, very thoughtful about the human technology relationship. And so a call to millennial India is that be future ready. We are already on the journey towards being developed nation. So the roadmap of 2047, as again very nicely put across by the panelists, initiate to establish, which has already happened. Integrate to grow, we are already doing it now. So the future is multiply to lead. And so youth, you have to do that. Multiply to lead so that we can be at the top. So that's the message we are taking forward from this panel, all the panelists. Before we close, I will just take a quick question from the panelists. I would like to reserve the question to myself on behalf of the students out here. So the first question goes to Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar Pandey, sir. Let's take this forum as we have industry and academia here to understand what type of industry-academia collaboration do you envisage, being the director of Amrit School of Engineering and Technology, for developing the national capacities and future technologies during this Amrit Kaal for achieving this Viksit Bharat. Sir, over to you.
Thank you. And see now, when we talk about the industry and academia collaboration and how we are connecting the industries for our education systems, it has been a long time concern and question. And आपने सुना होगा हमारे यहाँ पे उसको बोलते हैं यक्ष प्रश्न. सुना है आपने वर्ड? कितने लोगों ने सुना यक्ष प्रश्न? No? This question is which is not been answered yet. You know, or maybe not answered properly. In fact, a long time we are talking about how to bring academia and industry closer. It's like, it's becoming like remove poverty. It started from 1970 and till now we are having that mission again. Same way, how to bring the academia and industry together, closer is similar type of thing where the willpower of both the stakeholders are very, very important. As an academia from us and as an industry from the people, those around us right now today. Now, there are certain points, hesitation points in between. Academia have its own way of teaching. Maybe sometimes we are bound with the statutory requirements where we need to complete a certain part of the curriculum and syllabus in a certain time period. And the curriculum also is sometimes, because being an independent university, although we are very fast forward and we are updating our curriculum, we are involving the industry in between that. However, if I take as a holistic approach from other academic institutions as well, there is a big gap between how we can update and upgrade the curriculum frequently. So here, the willpower of both and the exercise from both the stakes will be required. It's very, very important. Now, as an academic institution, yes, of course, we are willing always, and we are moving towards that mission as well, in terms of starting the Center of Excellences in campus, in collaboration with some of the industries, where the industry officials come and they are grooming our students with the technologies they are using over there. And the similar thought process, now we are observing to the industries as well in the current situation, where they are also willing and moving forward. And we are hopeful that the coming time, this gap will be certainly reduced further, and we all have to take benefit of it, and we are in that process.
Thank you so much, sir. So that's the voice of academia for the industry to bridge the gap. Now, it is come out of this panel discussion that STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths, is one of the most important enabler for the vision of Viksit Bharat. So, next question would be to our esteemed panelist, Mr. Golok Kumar Simli. Ji, out of your experience of what government initiative for digitalization of Indian government services have been, how do you see this digitalization project of Indian government improving and taking forward our global visibility? So I request you to throw some lights on this.
Thank you. I think the numbers are by itself, telling the message or the kind of a, I'll say the answer of it or the truth of it. For an example, let's see, let me quote 2-3 examples so that we can connect. When you say, how is that digital Bharat or government of India is citing global example, let me say that the UPI is one of the platform. You know, how much transactions we are doing per month? Can someone guess? We are dealing with more than 11 billion transactions through UPI per month, right? And if you ask me on the revenue side, what could be the worth of this 11 billion transactions? It's more than 17.50 lakh crore. So that is per month. Let me quote another example, the GST collections, right? GST collections per month, now we are on an average, per month we have grossed more than 1.70 lakh crore, right? The GEM portal, where the all government procurement are taking place, right? A worth of around 2.2 lakh crore per month, we are doing business on the GEM portal. Now, any of these big initiative and transformations, whatever we are doing, these are not only for the sake of the larger public good in India per se, but we are looking for a global community saying that how is that these transformation, one, when you are dealing with, let's say, more than 1.4 billion of people with a shortest period of time, how will you bring in such transformation? That is one of the major, I'll say, message to the global community. The second message to the global community is when you are using technology or leveraging technology, as I rightly said, am I leaving behind someone, right? Am I making some demography, geography, literacy, economic conditions kind of a gaps? That was the second biggest message globally we are delivering. How are we addressing something I called equal access to all, right? The third message to the global community is, I think India is a country, our Honorable Prime Minister, the vision of the government, if you ask me, whether any of these emerging technology, Lataji said, whether it is AI, GenAI, blockchain, cloud as a platform, plethora of technology we are talking about. But then, government of India is taking active participation, showing pathway to the world, saying that am I, and what percentage of these development or the digital kind of a progress I am otherwise disturbing to my ecological footprint or carbon footprint and so on and so forth, right? So these are the 3-4 messages. Maybe I can quote another example saying that, the Aadhaar, every one of us, you have Aadhaar, right? Every one of us. Now you might be thinking that Aadhaar merely may be a identity document, so on and so forth. But going forward, how we are walking towards these big platforms, or when we are collaborating among each other, like Lataji said, a concept of aggregator, right? Now this aggregator, what we will do, and this aggregator has 3 powerful components. One is the identity, second is the data, and third is the payment. These are the 3 core components of this aggregator. And if we are able to establish a platform in India for all of us, then this aggregator concept will work. And how it will work? For an example, let's say you are applying for a change of address in Aadhaar. You do that, right? Every one of us, you do that when you change your address. But I can ask, hey, Mr. X and X, you have applied for change of address in Aadhaar, right? Would you also like to change your address in passport, driving license, so and so forth? I can ask, right? Why is that every time you have to go 10 places, 10 government offices for changing the same address, right? In 10 documents. But this concept of aggregator will only come provided we have these three major components: identity, data, and payment system, working seamlessly across all of us without violating the privacy and security concerns. So these are some of the examples I think we are setting towards the global community. And believe me, this is not I am saying, this is the global community is saying that India is heading way ahead when we are setting example. So thank you. Thank you.
So students, I think I'm feeling empowered, fortunate, as being part of the team who is on the road of the journey and part of the journey of getting into marked as developed nation. I am sure all of us are. There are a lot of questions going in our mind how we can contribute. But to just end the session, a last one to our third panelist, Ms. Lata Singh. Through your message, through your thought sharing, you have already mentioned about how youth has to move from taking up the job to creator of the job. So self-reliant is an important mantra for becoming developed nation. So may I request you to kindly help our students to understand the opportunities of technological innovation and incubation and idea how they can become a self-starter and create jobs, not just look for the jobs. As you know, we are already excited as you have invited our students to be part of your great organization IBM, but still we would want more and more students to create more IBMs. So over to you.
Absolutely, and I think this is a good question because we talked about being self-employed, we talked about creating jobs. India is at the peak of its startup economy, and all of us have seen startups that started 15 to 20 years back really becoming. I'm equally proud whenever an Indian company, by the way, goes on the global map. I don't know how many of you follow the Indian companies, whether it is Freshworks or Zoho. All of these are Indian companies, right? But the most important part is how do you, each one of you, leverage what is available to you, right? The earlier generation of startups maybe had a tougher time. But I would say while there's plenty, it's how do you really leverage some of the information, assets, and learnings that is available to you. One is from the government, by the way. There is a startup, Invest India, startup community. There is Atal Tinkering Lab. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that. But you should participate in some of those labs because there is innovation happening there and you should be part of it. Also, you should do it because if you have younger siblings or you have cousins who are in school, you will realize that AI is in their curriculum, okay? And remember, people 10 years younger than you or 15 years younger than you in class 4 or 3 are learning coding. They are learning AI, right? So the next workforce that's going to come in is actually going to be really ready, right? 2 is Delhi schools, by the way, do give a startup fund to each of the students, which is a very minimal point. I mean, but from a student perspective, I think it's roughly 10,000, which is not small, to get together in groups and think of ideas that they want to do, which are problem solving. Now, each one of you, beyond what the government has, and every state, by the way, if you're from multiple states, also has centers for startups that you can use, and based on the products that you create, they may obviously, they're giving you the space, they're giving you the infrastructure. They may obviously, as you go public or you get investment, look at what share they can get in, but those are available to you. More than that, the universities, each of the universities has an innovation hub. I know Amity has it, by the way, right? How many of you use the incubation hubs that multiple universities have, including yours? And therefore, it is important to know what is available. The investors are ready to invest, right? What you are doing is problem solving for the world. Remember, don't look at it, do I want to become an entrepreneur? Yes, but look at what problem are you solving. And we will go back to the discussion is, it is about problem solving, right? If you're able to come with an idea about the problem that you're going to solve, it is going to help you get the seed money that you need. Also, a lot of industry veterans are actually on a number of startups to help you present. They're also there to help guide you. There is professional help for you as you start engaging with VC funds, right? And I think that's important is, what is the passion inside you to do it? It is, we can tell you the ways to do it, but I think it has to come from inside. And let me tell you, it's not easy for any of us here because we have to equally, by the way, learn, unlearn whatever we have done in the last 25, 30 years. Because if we want to stay where we are and be relevant, we are equally doing our learning. So remember, you have the younger ones coming, and you have the ones that are here. We don't want to be left out either. So you have a tough job as well to stay relevant and to be in the 2047 game, right?
Thank you so much for summarizing the ecosystem of the team who is on this journey of Viksit Bharat. So, dear students, again a clear-cut message is that be the part of the team, participate, and be sure that you contribute towards the nation's journey towards Viksit Bharat. So with that, we come to the end of this panel development dialogue, and I would request Professor Dr. Pandey, sir. Oh, sorry.
No, I believe, no, we must leave something for you. Go to my LinkedIn profile, okay? I welcome all of you to connect there and look for a slide. You will find there, look for a slide where it is written that one slide and change mindset. No? The slide name is one slide and change mindset. Try to understand that. There are 3-4 components. There are 5 W's. Try to understand those 5 W's. There are 4 S. Try to understand those 4 S. There are 5 V's. Try to understand those 5 V's. Then there are 3 P's. And try to evaluate yourself on that slide. Any questions you have, I'm giving a word. I'll respond you back. Please ask. Try to go more and more detail into it and try to evaluate yourself on those parameters. So that much, no, I ensure you that I'll respond back. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. So search for Golok Kumar Simli, and he is available on LinkedIn, and look for the slide. One slide, change your mind. So that's the last message from our side. Thank you once again for being great panelists today. And now over to MC for concluding this session.
Thank you, one and all. On behalf of student fraternity, I would like to thank our esteemed panelists for sparing their valuable time for such an insightful session. As a mark of gratitude, may I request our director, Dr. Manoj Kumar Pandey sir, to present Amity Shield to the industry leaders. I request our esteemed guests to kindly step forward.
So as we come to the end of this session, which is development dialogue, as given a mandate to us from Ministry of Education, may I request Dr. Ashwini Dubey, Professor in Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, to propose a formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. So before I put vote of thanks, I would like to quote a statement of our former president, great scientist, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I quote, "Dreams are not those which comes while we are sleeping, but dreams are those when you don't sleep before fulfilling them." I unquote, which in reality is being implemented by our Honorable Visionary Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji by dreaming of the Viksit Bharat by 2047. So it would be our utmost responsibility to transform the dream into reality. This time we can contribute by two ways. Number one, by filling the suggestion and feedback through your Amazon account that how can we achieve the Viksit Bharat by 2047 and what would be your contribution. The second, by taking the selfie at Viksit Bharat at 2047 selfie point and sharing this selfie at your social media accounts like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, to create awareness among all the citizens of Bharat. Now, I'm asking you people, will you contribute into that? Again, I'm not hearing. Will you contribute into that? Great, thank you. Now, I take the opportunity to thank everyone who has helped in laying the foundation of Amrit, Kaal, Vimarsh development dialogue on technology and innovation, catalyst for the transformational journey of Viksit Bharat at 2047. So on behalf of Amrit School of Engineering and Technology, Amrit University, Uttar Pradesh, and my own behalf, I extend my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan sir, and Honorable Chancellor of Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, Dr. Atul K. Chauhan sir, for giving us an ideal platform and motivation to organize such events. I now express my heartfelt gratitude to Professor Dr. Valvinda Shukla Madam, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, for constantly inspiring us to organize such type of events for holistic development among the students. I am feeling so honored to express my sincere thanks to our esteemed panelists, Mr. Golak Kumar Simli, Principal Advisor and Chief Technology Officer, Ministry of External Affairs, India, and Ms. Lata Singh, Strategic Partner Leader, IBM Consulting India, for accepting our invitation, sparing their valuable time and enlightening us with their views and thoughts that how together we can contribute to make Viksit Bharat by 2047. I am really obliged by your gracious presence. Thanks a lot. So please give a huge round of applause for them. Thank you. Further, I express my sincere thanks to Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar Pandey, Director Asset, and moderator of the event, Professor Dr. Madhuri Kumari, ma'am, for their constant support, guidance, and motivation to organize this wonderful event. Thank you. I extend my sincere thanks to Wing Commander M.K. Sharma, Additional Director, Event Coordination, for always being supported in sharing the information for the event to all the Amity universities across the globe. Thank you, sir. I am feeling so honored to express my sincere gratitude towards all the respected dignitaries, head of the departments, faculty members, colleagues, researchers, and students who have come forward and actively participated in Amrit Kaal Vimarsh event. So please give a huge round of applause for the wonderful audience. Thank you. My special thanks to my faculty colleague, Dr. Nidhi Gaur, Ms. Anju Khanna, and student coordinator, Shreya Som and Anika Dogra of BTech CSC 6th semester, and their team who have worked hard to make this event successful. So please give a huge round of applause. Already you did this. Very good. Thank you. Last but not the least, I would like to thank IT team, admin team, ESCO, and media team for extending their full support and cooperation. So we look forward to all of you for similar cooperation in future too. Thank you all once again. Namaskar. Have a nice day. Now I request all the student volunteers to come forward for a group photograph. Thank you. Thank you everyone. Have a